What y'all listening to?
Limelight Highlight Podcast.
Happy New Year and welcome back to the show. Your silver lining space to take a break from the stressful everyday. As always, I'm your host, Jay Rose, and this is the Limelight Highlight Podcast, highlighting all things positive, but also highlighting some negative things because we need to do that every now and then. It's been a while since we last spoke, and it's 2020. I speak to y'all since last year. Cue in that horrible joke. It's already been a very busy year for all types of news. There's memes out there going around about World War III, Australia's on fire, a ton of heavy political topics are all in rotation for only 6 days into the new year, but let's stay away from the heavy doom and gloom and focus on something a little happier. As far as updates, I don't have much except a bunch of ideas and plans for the podcast. I know I'm notorious for saying I'm gonna do something and then either not follow through, or it takes me damn near half a year to do so. So I'm just gonna keep things to myself somewhat, and when I have it ready, I will most definitely let you know what it is that I worked on and how I'm releasing it. So keep an eye out for those updates. And I know there's that old cliche that's always parroted, every single year, the whole new year, new me thing. Those New Year resolutions everyone makes. But for a while, it used to bother me when you really think about it. We shouldn't be downplaying the plans of other people that other people have for their personal growth, even if it is going to be short-lived. Over the years, I've had that same mentality where, like, why are people constantly not advancing in on their lives, or why do people make excuses as to why they're not making the moves that they need to make to be successful? Then I came to an understanding that not everyone has the same mindset or same goals, and not everyone is going to follow through with every move that they make. So everyone moves at their own pace. And at the end of the day, it really is no one's business except the person that's going through it themselves. So my point is, encourage people and congratulate them on the growth, and don't make them feel like crap for not moving or growing. Now, today's podcast tags on the whole New Year, New Goals theme. My lovely wife, Arlene, put me on this a couple days ago, and immediately I thought about how this episode of the podcast was going to cover it. Now, for many people in America, the holiday break consists of Christmas Eve, or even that week before, through New Year's Day. And if you have kids who go to school, I think their break is even longer. Whatever, it's a good holiday break, which gives plenty of people plenty of time to go around and spend time with their families and their extended families and friends, exchanging gifts and surprises. With the convenience of online shopping, I know in my household, we order a ton of stuff through Amazon or eBay or whatever website delivers goods, so that we don't have to deal with the hassle and stress of going to the mall, looking for parking, fighting traffic, getting in those long lines at the mall to make our purchases, and then sometimes even to go in and waste all our time because we go into a ton of stores and find out that they're sold out of a specific item or whatever it is that we were looking for to begin with. Happened to me a few times. And my mom came to spend a Christmas break, a New Year's break with us, my wife and I. And before she got out here, she sent a ton of boxes from her orders online to our house, so she didn't have to pack anything in her luggage. Work smarter, not harder. So in a scenario like that, there's just tons of different scenarios where online shopping is just more convenient, safe, and better, especially during the holidays, which finally brings me to our topic today. It's this nifty little website Arlene put me on called givebackbox.com. Not to be confused with the Block Gives Back, although they're a great organization as well, as you know. Give Back Box was founded in 2012, a little backstory for you guys if you didn't know, by a woman named Monica Wiela. At that time, she was running an online shoe store, and the Give Back Box idea was inspired when she was on her way home by a homeless man she ran into in Chicago, who was holding up a sign saying he needed a pair of shoes. And of course, running an online shoe store, she didn't have a shortage of shoes, so she went, as any decent human would, she went home, picked up some shoes, and headed back out to drop them off to the guy. Unfortunately, when she returned later that day, the man was gone. She spent the night thinking about what she could do with all the empty boxes in her warehouse and also help people like the man asking for shoes. And this is how the Give Back Box was born. Now, before she implemented everything, she did a little bit of research, and while doing research for her idea, she learned that an estimated 11 million tons of clothing, footwear, towels, bedding, drapery, and other textiles end up in U.S. landfills every year. So it's a lot of trash. And in addition, online shopping, like we talked about earlier, it is the now preferred method of much of the buying public. So boxes are the dominant packaging method, for obvious reasons, for many online businesses. After learning all about these facts and statistics, Monica was determined to do something to help solve this problem. Now, if online real retailers, I can't even say the word, would use Give Back Box, shipping boxes and other items could be used a second time prior to being recycled. So you're recycling it before it goes to a recycling center, in a sense. The impact would be remarkable, right? As with any great idea, she needed help implementing it. So her first step was to find a nonprofit with a national footprint that could accept donations on a grand scale. The organization would have to be able to not only accept used clothing, but other items that people wanted to donate. I know I have a ton of stuff to donate that's not only clothes and only shoes or whatever the case is. And the nonprofit enterprise also needed to have a program to recycle the boxes that it would receive, further limiting landfill waste. So you got all your boxes checked to make sure that this thing is sustainable and it's helping. The first major retailer to join the Give Back Box was newegg.com, and I had to look this up because I didn't know what it was, but it's basically a tech website for electronics and things of that nature. And the retailer would place Give Back Box flyers in all the boxes, and it would ship it to its customers whenever somebody would order something. The flyers would read that they would recommend customers to reuse their boxes that their purchases came in and fill them with clothes or accessories or household items, and then ship them to a local charity using their prepaid shipping labels. So another check in the box. The local charities developed a system to track the packages. So when they received the boxes and scanned them in, tax receipts were generated for appropriate donors. So another check in the box. This program is amazing. And Give Back Box isn't only partnering with small organizations that people never really heard of, although Newegg isn't very small, but I know a lot of people haven't heard of it. But they're partnering with huge retailers like Overstock.com, Amazon, REI, Levi's, Asics, Nordstrom, Beyond, and a bunch of other heavy-hitting brands that distribute a lot of goods. And if you happen to own a retail store, the Give Back Box platform is open for anyone who wants to join as a partner. So that's another plus. And it's open for donors as well. So with the option to choose the charity that you want to donate to, it's covering a lot of bases, if you catch my drift. And the charities stock their shelves with donations, and the revenues help fund their mission of helping people in need, or to help reach their full potential through learning and the power of work, according to the website. And for good measure, to keep it going, the charities also recycle every box that arrives at their facilities. So these boxes aren't only being used once to be recycled as far as being used again, they're constantly being recycled, which is eliminating all that waste that we were talking about. 11 million tons. And this is awesome site truly has created a new method of waste diversion for retailers, because in addition to creating a secondary use for the shipping box, like I said before, and guaranteeing that it'll be recycled, it helps clear closets, creates jobs, and offers more companies and their consumers an opportunity to recycle. Which brings me to my final points as to why I chose this story. I mean, it's 2020. It's the new year, where people have goals and desires to change their lives and accomplish new things. You know, those things we like to call every year resolutions, New Year's resolutions. So for me, my resolution is to practice what I preach a little more and donate and volunteer, along with reading more books and just overall holding myself more accountable from not my actions, but to meet certain goals and things of that nature. And another goal my wife and I both share is to declutter our house and stop hoarding the things that we're not going to use or we don't fit in, and kind of donate and give those away so we can declutter the house, have a cleaner looking garage and more area to store more crap, I guess. And the Give Back Box website checks a lot of boxes, no pun intended, when it comes to things that I think of people trying to accomplish. For one, you can check that donate box off your list of things to do throughout the new year, if that's one of the things like my goal is, or my resolution. 2, you can get a receipt for tax purposes, because if there's anything better than just donating, it's knowing that it'll help you on your taxes, on your tax return, and tax season is right around the corner. 3, you help the environment by reducing waste and recycling. So 2 birds with 1 stone. If you don't, 4, you don't have to pay for shipping. Instead of dealing with the breaking down of the boxes and you throw them out, you could just reuse them, and they give you the shipping label for free, so you don't have to pay no out-of-pocket expenses to help out other people. You can declutter your house, as I said before. And finally, 6, if you plan on using this service, you can choose from a ton of charities to donate to. So even if you can't come up with one yourself, they have a whole list. The site was established in 2012, and I'm just hearing about it now, which kind of blows my mind. These are the reasons why I truly like to do this podcast and have a serious desire to expand this platform. I want to be a conduit for people to find positive information and news so that they can in turn be a part of the solution and not the problem, and kind of have a better outlook on life, So I think this website in itself is amazing. It checks a lot of boxes, as I said, over and over again. So if you have a New Year's resolution and it's to help people, help yourself by helping others, and get a little stuff on your tax return. It's easier than looking for a Goodwill and driving around with a bag of clothes in your trunk for months because you have an intention on giving it away but don't know where or how to give it away. So right here, clean out your space and have some more storage space. Now, and recently, I've been getting a decent amount of DMs and messages on good news stories or information, and this one in particular follows well with our New Year's resolution topic. This one is about a factory farm detox, if you ever heard of one, and actually shared with us from my Aunt Shirley, so thanks for the support from the family. Not only do people want to help others and make more money, but one resolution that seems to be constant every year is living a healthier lifestyle and losing weight. That's also one of my resolutions. It's like a resolution every single year because I don't do anything with it. But with this, you can figuratively kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Factory farming, if you didn't know, is when you have an industrial facility on which large numbers of animals are confined in an unnatural condition that prioritizes production of meat, eggs, or dairy at the expense of animals' welfare, the environment, workers, consumers, communities, and farmers. I know you've all seen those terrible PETA videos where the animals are being slaughtered or just pushed into terrible pens. It's a gruesome life for these farm animals, and nobody really wants to be a part of it, and nobody wants to see it because that's where a lot of people are getting their meat and food. It's a pretty disgusting practice, and it doesn't have and there's not really a simple fix, to say the least. But if you would like to make a difference and make a health conscious decisions on where your food comes from, and morality, a moral conscious effort to not help those factory farms, you can definitely help, or this can definitely help. It's the ASPCA's Factory Farm Detox. It's a 1-week commitment to eliminate factory farmed foods from your diet. And if you register for the Monday through Sunday detox, the ASPCA will send you tips and resources for humane shopping. They have useful information on how to understand those confusing food labels, both good and bad, to find better quality products where you shop. And here are some reasons why you may want to make the switch. If you reject these food factory farm products, you can support more humane farmers who give their animals freedom to roam and carry out their natural behaviors, which in turn makes for better quality of food because they're not filled with just corn. Grass-fed